bowl of mine. Well, my screen has seen some better times. Well, my buddy poked a hole, now my weed falls deep inside. Please tug lightly on this bowl of mine. You like music, you like weed, well, we gonna be good friends indeed. This is not much I like more than smoking trees. They'll make you dance the do-si-do and teach you how the chiva grows. Smoke a bowl on the 420 radio show. On Lifestyle Radio.
Speak. This is the 420 radio show. Yeah, okay. I'm just playing with buttons here. And we got everything loaded.
The show. This is it.
Yeah, on with the show. This is it. This is the 420 radio show. We're live on lifestyleradio.net. Come on in the chat room, say hello, hang out, smoke a doobie, whatever it is you do on a Friday night. We're going to be hanging out with Jack Kungle, and I forget the other Thomas
Lyman.
Thomas Lyman, who both friended me today on Facebook.
Yes, Mr. Lyman's the fellow who is organizing and setting up the Green Thinking Assembly down in Maxville on November 7th, where I'm going to speak.
What are you going to be speaking about?
About my experience with my health and the benefits of cannabis as opposed to pharmaceuticals. And I believe there's 8 different speakers, 7 patients, and a doctor who has been signing for Section 56 for at least 25 years that I'm aware of.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just reading what it says. It's on November 7th in Kingsville, Ontario.
At I believe it's called the Migratory Center in Kingsville, Ontario.
Yes.
It's green-thinking.net. .net, right. I was, yes, the .net bit.
Jack and Tom will be by in a few minutes. We're just going to load them up on Skype. And we got Clyde in the chat room with his video on. Sorry if you hear anything. And what else we got going on tonight?
We're going to have news. Are we going to have news? Oh, and before we get started, here in Canada, we have a new Liberal government this week. That happened since we had
was
our
that
last
supposed
show.
to be applause?
Was that what?
Was that supposed to be applause?
Oh, applause.
Yeah, somebody does the applause.
Yeah, I forgot to load that. Just give me 1 second. Applause. You want applause? Better? We are.
Yeah, it's a lot better than what we had before, thanks.
So now we can't say any more fuck you Harper jokes. Really.
Oh, well.
I'm really upset about that.
I think the chorus of that prior to the election just I was stunned sometimes. When children's entertainers and people who don't usually have a voice when it comes to politics come out and plead with the public not to do this again. Yeah, it had to be time, eh?
You know what? I just want to say that if you're in Mexico, hide. Seriously. The storm is about to hit ground. And it's the worst storm ever. Yeah. Bad. Really bad. I'm watching CNN. It's spinning, and they're boarding up things and all that.
Yeah, they're saying it's going to be the strongest tornado or hurricane, I guess. Hurricane.
Yeah, hurricane ever to hit land.
Ever to hit Texas, yeah.
Gusts of 235 miles an hour. Not kilometers, miles an hour. Yeah.
And you never know. You get in the way of those weather systems, and geez,
What can you? And you know what? Marcel sent me an article that I wanted to bring up. And it's about a new. I'm gonna post it on our page. It's it's a new toy for women. It's a weed pipe that's also a dildo, and I'm just tweeting it now. If anybody else wants to be disgusted, they may tweet me back. Did you actually read the article? It's called "The Original Peter Pipe." It's 8-inch pecker puffer.
It's the magical glass you'll never want to pass.
Smoke it, then poke it.
Oh my!
Really, if you pull it out of your purse and you light it up and you pass it to me, I'm going to say no thanks.
As probably would most of the folks at the party.
Yes, they would. But if you think about it, they say that cannabis is an aphrodisiac.
Yeah.
So it could come in handy if you're sitting there having a puff by yourself and you just get that urge. Well,
there you go, eh?
Your pipe can take care of you from both ends, I guess.
Well, that's a Vice article that was a repost from Broadley.
Well, at least it doesn't go so far as the one with your deceased spouse's ashes in it.
Well, that's just wrong.
Exactly what I thought.
I'm looking to see
That's just wrong.
How much they are. I want to know how much they are. Christmas is coming up.
Oh, what, for these pipes?
Yeah.
Oh, do you know, that gives me a funny story. I don't know if you guys remember Consumers Distributing.
Oh, yeah.
That store that you used to fill out the form and get the stuff in brown boxes from the back. Well, I was at a Consumers Distributing on like Christmas Eve one time, right? Got out of work, went to pick up toys for the kid and stuff. And there's this guy, and he's got a range of boxes there in front of him on the counter. And the girl serving him, she's running back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Couldn't figure out what she's doing. Then she goes up to the girl that's serving me, and she goes, "Do you know where those batteries are? I can't find those batteries." She goes, "Which ones?" "You know, the ones for the vibrator." And the guy looks at me, and he looks at the girl, and he's got this one box that's just the right shape. And he's looking at everybody going, gag gift, just a gag gift.
Jesus. They're just so Marcel knows. They're $49.95 plus shipping. And it's from,
oh, you found the price already?
Yeah, it's from a Canadian website.
Are they made out of glass?
Yeah, it's a glass pipe.
Glass. Yeah,
oh!
A glass pipe.
Oh, now she's interested.
Oh, well, look up.
No, actually, I was thinking as long as somebody doesn't get too, ambitious with the thing, glass can be dangerous in the wrong hands or the wrong places.
Ouch.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's pretty thick glass. It looks like it'd be pretty thick glass.
You would hope. For $49.95, yeah. Come on.
Yeah.
Geez, if it's solid glass, the shipping would kill you.
Can't be solid glass, it's also a pipe.
Oh, there you go. That's
I'm just
right.
wondering which end of that thing your mouth goes on.
Well, this is... As soon as you mentioned it, I kind of imagined where it might go.
But you could be wrong.
On that note,
I could be, yeah.
On that note.
Yeah.
I think it's time to call our guests. We'll be right back. This is the 420 Radio Show. And we are going to hear, as soon as I get rid of this shit that's posted itself in here, some Bobby Fricks, 420 Local. It's 420 Radio Show. We'll be right back.
I can't smoke pot, hell, I can't even wear my earring. Sick and tired of people telling me what I can and cannot do. Guess I'll just pack up my guitar and move to Music City. Starve to death like most starving artists do. I can smoke all the pot that I want in my old 420 Local. if I want. I can even wear an earring in my nose. No longer matters how I vote, or even if I want to. No longer matters how I wear my hair or my clothes. Don't hog that, man. Pass it on. Don't hog it. Heck yeah, pass it. I can smoke all the pot that I want in my old 420 local. Willie Nelson will kick your ass for smoking that much. If I want, I can even wear an earring in my nose. Don't bogart, pass it on, pass it on. No longer matters how I vote, or even if I want to. No longer matters how I wear my hair or my clothes. No longer matters how I vote, or even if I want to. No longer matters how I wear my hair or my clothes.
It's a third of the cost, too.
At a risk of sounding like a total perv. No, shit. No, I forgot what I was going to say.
You ended with turd, so carry on with that.
Was it to do with turkey bags?
Yes, it was.
Turkey bags are the plastic bags that you cook a turkey in.
Yeah.
I've actually heard people
which
talk
is the same material that you use for a vaporizer.
Oh, okay. The stuff that you can get in the roll.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So I think the roll is by the time you get it, shipping and handling and everything runs about $16, and that makes you 3 bags, and you pay I think $2.99 at the grocery store, and you get 2 turkey bags.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
And it's already sealed up and everything. So
yes, it's already sealed on the other end and nice and easy to use, and it's actually a little bit bigger.
Huh.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I love this. I love the money saving tips that we come up with. I'm going to be trying to use winemaking strainers for instead of.
So nobody's getting these great money saving tips.
Yeah, that's true. We'll do that again.
Should we offer the gentleman the suggestion of a weed pipe for Christmas gifts? Should we?
What, you want to offer those pipes to Jack?
Well, just as a suggestion for a Christmas gift.
It's a good stocking stuffer.
Sure. What kind of pipe you got?
It's a dildo pipe.
When you're not using it as a pipe, you can use it as a dildo.
Interesting.
It's a glass penis pipe with a handle.
Penis.
With a handle.
So you can drive.
Too bad dildos don't come with handles. I think they'd be a lot more efficient.
Well, along the dildo line, I actually know somebody that used the dildo to deliver oil.
Really?
Oh, awesome! What a good way to do it too.
You know what? I was just thinking that. I'm wondering if you could do that.
Dildo.
Have a little fun while you're medicating.
John Marsh. What's that?
Well, people like to see John
That's where
Marsh.
she had the cancerous tumor.
Oh,
Yeah.
little fun.
Here, I'll just send you a dildo full of oil.
Yeah.
Yep.
They gotta medicate the eardrums. There you go.
Customers to be looking at the X-ray, going, "I'm not fucking touching that."
Oh, shit.
Exactly.
Yeah, we'll just let this one go through.
Yes. Yes.
Especially if you wrap it up in a pair of what looks like well-used panties.
Okay, so my buddy's standing here. We're having a doobie, and he's only hearing one side because he doesn't have a headset. Do you have any idea what we're talking about? No.
Oh, now he's really confused.
Yeah, he's really confused now. So, Jack, and do you prefer Thomas or Tom?
Tom is good.
Okay. Jack and Tom are here to discuss an event called Green Thinking that's going on in, don't have that up in front of me, sorry.
Kingsville.
In Kingsville, Ontario, Canada. And we wanted to make sure before that happened that we had you both on the show to tell us what's going on there. So why don't I give you a couple of minutes, and then, you know, how we work around here, we'll talk about pot or something. Close to pot. Or maybe hash or other things like that.
Alrighty.
Sounds good.
So, okay, go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, in Kingsville, Ontario, we're hosting an event here at a place called Migration Hall. Just a little offset here. Kingsville is home of Jack Miner, which there's a bird sanctuary, and Jack Miner started that bird sanctuary quite a few years ago. And we have a hall. Can you hear me okay there, Al?
Hello. Yeah, you running a vaporizer there or something?
Yeah, you were getting lots of static. It sounds like you got a blower behind you.
Nope.
You hear it at this end, actually.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. Well, it's okay now. Continue.
Okay.
I'm going to move a little closer. Hang on.
He'll move a little closer. Maybe it's the mic adjusting. I don't know.
I'll let dildo talk.
Yeah, it's all the...
what it is I think you have a noise canceling microphone is what it is. And they can be very annoying. But anyways, we'll deal with it. Just go on.
Anyway, make a long story a little bit longer. We're hosting an event here in Kingsville that's going to just bring the general public information on some of the positive things that's happening with the cannabis and some of the people that have... Mike's coming out again. Can you hear me there, Al?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, so some of the people that we got speaking have had, they'll be giving testimonies of the journeys that they've had and the positive results they've had using the cannabis.
Yes, and I'm one of the people that have had the positive results using the cannabis with terminal cancer and now being cancer-free and eliminated 18 medications and
wow.
The side effects have been it's controlled my blood pressure, my diabetes, regulated my weight, 62 pounds. It's fixed my cholesterol. I've removed my leg brace that I've wore for the last 40 years and gave me the use of my upper girdle back. So that's what cannabis has done, and this is what the talk is all about.
I don't know why what's going on with your mic. I think I don't want anybody to miss anything that you guys have to say. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break and listen to the news, and then we're going to come back and we'll either figure this out during the break or we'll give Jack a call on the phone. How's that?
Okay.
Okay. We'll be right back. This is the 420 Radio Show, and here's the news with Ellen.
Good evening. I'm Coulter Wonkite. I'm already into the 420, damn it.
Wonderful news in Canada this week, folks. The Liberal Party and its leader Justin Trudeau swept into power on Monday. The Prime Minister-designate plans to legalize marijuana right away. Trudeau's victory means the end of nearly a decade of Conservative power under Stephen Harper, who recently called cannabis infinitely worse than tobacco. Trudeau, on the other hand, ran on the Liberal platform which included a promise to legalize cannabis. Their platform states, "We will legalize, regulate, and restrict access to marijuana." Canada's current system of marijuana prohibition just does not work. It does not prevent young people from using marijuana, and too many Canadians end up with criminal records for possessing small amounts of the drug. Canadian patients and recreational users alike are now waiting to see what and how the Liberal government does and how they will regulate and tax. Trudeau has said in the past that he believes patients should be able to grow their own. There is some speculation that this could hurt the new legal growers because if recreational users as well as medical users are able to grow, prices are likely to drop significantly. In the U.S., a landmark decision by the federal court found that the federal government has no standing to block the legal operation of medical cannabis dispensaries, provided that they comply with state law. With an ever-growing body of research indicating the extreme medicinal benefits of cannabis, efforts to continue lining the pockets of the profiteers of the prison industrial complex by criminalizing non-criminal behavior are doomed to fail. The reality is that people no longer believe the reefer madness hysteria that is still being propagated to the masses by corporate media. The decision by Judge Breyer highlights the changes that have been made and represents the future of medical marijuana in America. There are a few studies happening around the world, and reports of cannabis being used to treat Crohn's, strokes, cancer, cerebral palsy, just to name a few, are being let out slowly week by week. Some researchers are beginning to think that cannabis isn't a direct treatment for specific diseases, but rather a whole-body treatment that supercharges our own body's immune system and promotes a climate where our bodies can heal themselves. Did I mention we have a new Prime Minister here in Canada? Did I mention he's being heralded as the sexiest politician in the world? Luckily for Canada, he's as smart as he is pretty. Canadians will understand this when I say, on Tuesday morning when I woke up, it was like the fog had cleared, the sun shone brighter, and it was easier to breathe. Congratulations, Canada. Thank you, and welcome back. I hope everyone has a wonderful weekend. I'll send you back to Lori, Al, and Marcel. See you next week. Good night.
What's up? It's Reed from My Darkest Days, and you're listening to LifestyleRadio.ca.
More than one reason, I use the herbs throughout every season. I use the herbs for medicinal purpose. I use the herbs to maintain my focus. In Kingston, Jamaica, we got many different kind of herbs. Herbs to heal the season, herbs to heal glaucoma. I'm still bronchitis, I'm still the cancer. Hey, in Kingston, Jamaica, we got many different kind of herbs. I'm still the nurse, I'm still the doctor, I'm still the priest, I'm still the preacher. Hey, and it's a reality. Go do your research and see, as I use the herbs for more than one reason. I use the herbs throughout every season. I use the herbs for medicinal purpose. I use the herbs to maintain my focus. Oh, my herbs. Use the herbs for more than one reason. Oh, my herbs. Use the herbs to maintain my focus. I use the herbs for medicinal purpose. Use the herbs to maintain my focus. Relieve depression, anxiety relief, treat breathing disorders like asthma, strengthen the body's immune system. It produces longevity and long life, and long life, and long life. And I use the herbs more than one reason. I use the herbs throughout every season. I use the herbs for medicinal purpose. I use the herbs to maintain my focus. I use the herbs for more than one reason. I use the herbs throughout every season. I use the herbs for medicinal purpose. focus. The herbs fighting pain, treating circulatory disorders, and enhance memory. Elevate your mood and enhance your well-being and your contentment, and produce a feeling of relaxation. Herbs for more than one reason. I use the herbs throughout every season.
The Cannonball Run for Vets will be leaving the city of Los Angeles on October 17th, heading toward our nation's capital. We'll be stopping in Denver, Austin, Nashville, Atlanta, and Philadelphia. At each of these stops, we'll have a 5K boot run, followed by an evening reception networking event. Veterans and military families will share their experiences, and will be joined by leading researchers, educators, advocates, and legal minds. For this cross-country campaign, we're estimating our costs to be between $40,000 to $50,000. We factored in gas, lodging, food, marketing material, permits and fees, and costs associated with venues in each city. We've got a great list of incentives and perks for our donors, including original artwork, t-shirts, accessories, backstage passes, and more. We call on our leadership to investigate the impact of legal pharmaceuticals carelessly prescribed by the Veterans Health Association. We need them to acknowledge the damage inflicted on our military families by these legal drugs. Our country has an obligation to our volunteers and needs to do what is right by them. In a situation such as this, every hour a human toll is rising. We are a nation awash in the blood of our dead patriots. Veterans are roughly 7% of the population in our country, yet they account for more than an estimated 20% of the national suicide rate. As federal patients, we require that cannabis be recognized by the VA as a viable alternative to dangerous SSRIs, opiates, and other commonly prescribed drugs. We know from recent reports that cannabis has statistically lowered the overdose suicide death rates in states where it is legally accessible. As federal patients, we require federal access. On Veterans Day, November 11th in Washington, D.C., veterans are taking their empty pill bottles to the White House on Pennsylvania Avenue. We intend to make a strong statement when we dump out our trash bags of empty pill bottles collected along our cross-country journey. Afterwards, we will pause for a moment of cannabis reflection to remember those we have lost and those we continue to lose daily. Please join us in D.C. this Veterans Day and help us in our fight for safe access and compassionate care. We start our march at Benjamin Franklin Park at 1100 EST. Together, we can make a difference. Thank you for your support.
20 radio show. We are live on lifestyleradio.net. Come on in the chat room.
Yes, we were talking about you people, but that's okay. You don't need to know.
Yes, we were. We were talking about people in the chat room. Like Hillary.
And Dale.
Yeah. So, we're chatting with Jack and Tom, and because of the audio problems we had there at the beginning of the show, I'm going to let them reiterate on what they were talking about real quick, and then we'll continue our conversation. How's that sound?
Okay, hopefully you can hear me there. No, I was just saying that we're having a function here in Kingsville, Ontario, at Migration Hall on November the 7th, and we will be having speakers talk that evening on the subject of the medical benefits of cannabis, and most of the speakers will be talking like on a testimonial type scenario where they'll just be saying their journeys and where they came from and how they got to where they are today. One of those speakers are Jack, as a matter of fact.
And so what cannabis did for me, I had terminal bladder cancer, and the cannabis had cured my cancer. It got me off 18 medications. It fixed my diabetes. It fixed my blood pressure. It regulated my weight, 62 pounds. It fixed my cholesterol and gave me the use of my upper girdle back. I have a blown right knee, the cruciate ligament, the meniscus tendon, and the cartilage, and I needed a complete reconstruction. And for the last 42 years, I've wore a leg brace, and I no longer wear the leg brace through the ingestion of cannabis. So there's a whole lot of us that have some remarkable stories that we're going to tell you that have happened just through the ingestion of cannabis.
Can you tell us some of the speakers that you're going to have?
Say that again. Didn't hear you.
Can you tell us what's... Oh. Wait. On my mic here. Uh-oh. See, now my mic's giving us a hard time. Can you hear me now?
I'll ask the question.
Okay.
Can you tell us who else will be speaking at this event?
Well, I can. Actually, we'll start at the top of the list. Doesn't necessarily mean the order that they're going to be speaking, but as I said, Jack is going to be speaking. Also, Peggy Kennedy is going to be speaking. Lori is going to be speaking. Victoria Catherine Grieve. We have an up-and-coming LP that's going to be speaking. His name is Claudio Masternardi from Leamington, Ontario. We have a fella that's had MS for 25 years and has managed it with cannabis. His name is Stephen Lozon.
He's been the longest medicinal legal cannabis user in Canada. That's pretty cool. Paralyzed from the neck down in 1990. Now he's walking and talking.
Yeah, 25 years later.
Wow.
And we have Pamela Javed Haim, sorry. She's going to join us as well. We're looking very forward to having her. And Kim Martell. I believe Kim was a guest on your radio show, I believe, 6 or 7 months ago, if I'm correct.
Actually, I don't think it was that long ago.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
Yeah.
A couple months ago.
Oh, a couple months ago? Is that right? Okay.
I met Kim.
I heard the show, actually, but I must have had...
I met Kim.
And also, like I said, we got Lori that's going to join us as well. So that, as of right now, that's who we have.
Cool.
And the doc.
We're hoping to have a doc live there. I'm still waiting to hear back from him. But in the event that we do not have the doctor live, I have another doctor that has agreed to do a pre-recorded video that will be playing there.
Cool.
What is it? It's over a weekend, is it?
It's in 2 weeks. It's 2 weeks tomorrow night, November the 7th, at 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. The reason I mention that, it's going to be a live webcast, so anybody who has the interconnection on the globe will be able to tap into that and be with us live.
Can it allow ability for people to ask questions over the internet?
Yes. The webcast company is going to set up an email situation where people can can email in, and we'll have a Q&A session with that and the people in the hall itself.
Nice.
Yeah, we're looking really forward to it. It's something I feel very strongly about. I haven't been around this a whole long time, and people really close to me, near and dear to me, have been battling some things, and I've seen some good positive outcomes, which is what has really pushed me to make this happen.
Good. We need more education.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what this is all about, is education.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm really looking forward to coming down and meeting you folks and participating, and it's going to be awesome if Dr. Bernard can be there too. But despite that, like, just to have the opportunity to speak in person to people from your life experiences like that, I think it crosses the anecdotal line when you can actually see the person and, like, come on, we know we have the proof, right?
Yes. And what it is, too, is to remove the stigma that's been painted of this plant. You know, this picture has been painted for the last 75 years, and it's the most medicinal plant on the planet. You know, every human being has an entire system in their body just to process cannabis. You know, it's been the biggest lie. It's an exit drug. It's not a gateway drug. I mean, I had absolutely no problem getting off my 18 medications. Steve Lozon, another speaker, he was on 34 medications. They even had him on methadone, and he doesn't even take that. I mean, it is. The stigma has to be removed from this plant. I mean, if this plant was discovered today, it would be the find of the century.
Exactly.
You know, and the only threat that this plant is to the pharmaceutical industry, the oil company, the lumber company, and the cotton industry, because you'd never dig any more holes, you'd never have to cut down another tree, you wouldn't have to take any pills. And that's the sad part.
It is very sad.
Very sad part.
Corporate greed and the love of money has overcome the need for proper health care, basically.
Yep, there is absolutely no money in healthy people.
Nope.
None whatsoever.
Despite the fact that if we're healthy, we can, be tax-paying citizens again, nobody sees the benefit of that for some strange reason.
No. It's all preventive medicine.
Well, that's it. And my experience is pretty much the same as yours, that all my pharmaceutical medications have been eliminated. Every symptom that I have is treated, and I use nothing but cannabis. Not even aspirin or Tylenol is in my house. So,
yes.
It's a holistic medicine like no other.
Yes, exactly. And if you leave it out on the table and somebody accidentally swallows it, they just go to bed and they wake up the next morning. They don't die because of an overdose of some pills laying around.
Exactly.
That's the gist of it.
Safer than
cannabinoids come from two places. They come from the cannabis plant and breast milk. It's the only thing on the planet that we're hardwired for. Nothing else. The guy driving the big spaceship didn't get it wrong.
And the problem with breast milk is they keep slapping you.
It keeps what?
They keep slapping you every time you go to get some.
Oh. It's kind of hard on the ears. Slap the boxing on the ears.
But, but what it boils down to is pretty much every single sickness is a cannabinoid deficiency. So if you haven't been ingesting cannabis or drinking breast milk in your entire life, that's the only place it comes from.
Yeah, that's true.
All right? And so that's what needs to be addressed in every single human being. And if we'd have been eating this like salad since we were babies, we'd all be superhuman beings. Nobody would be sick. Hey, the hospitals, all they would be doing is fixing broken bones and stitching you up because us old guys would be too stupid to relax, to take it easy. I've never felt this good in my life. It feels like to me the clock has been turned back 20 years through my cannabis ingestion.
That is so cool.
How much?
It is. It's amazing what it's done. It's given my life back.
How much?
And pretty much everybody that uses cannabis, that's pretty much what it does. It gives you your life back.
It does.
How much do you ingest daily, Jack?
And that's what everybody needs to understand is just through slow ingestion and daily ingestion every single day, and just sit back and let the plant do its thing. And it's a simple way to understand how the plant works is if you understand how a computer in an antivirus works. We're the computer, and the cannabis is the antivirus. And so you eat it, and it just constantly monitors your system. And it just goes to work. And if it's not messed up, it leaves it alone. It's pretty cool.
Well, there's no other explanation for how it works, and that's the thing that I think we have to turn the discussion around more to what you're saying than, oh, well, cannabis, it kills cancer, and it cures Alzheimer's, and it cures this, and it cures that, and it cures something else. That just sounds absurd. When you tell people that it makes you healthy enough that your body can fight those things.
That's exactly what it does.
That makes sense.
Here's what we've been doing on the East Coast. We've already been taking this to the public by going to health and wellness shows and seniors expos. We don't talk about cannabis curing anything, ever.
Yes.
What we do is we talk about the health benefits and what it can do and why it works the way it does with the endocannabinoid system.
Mm-hmm.
And what we're doing is we've been completely changing public perception of cannabis because we're bringing in former business owners, teachers, politicians. So the people can actually relate to us because we don't look like the stereotypical pothead.
Yeah.
Yeah, the slogan I've selected for this program is called "It's Okay to Talk About Cannabis." I wanted to keep it juvenile. I wanted to keep it simple for just the general public to try not to convolute it. Just get the message across that it's okay to talk about cannabis and how well it works within the body, and just let the rest of it take its toll.
Yeah, that's exactly what we've been doing, and it seems to be the best tactic we've ever seen so far because of how the response is.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Or the lack of response in a negative way.
Yeah, we of course the news, when they were doing some of their little stunts, they got negative comments.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We never had anybody come to us and say anything negative. The only ones that say anything negative are the ones that don't come and listen to us or talk to us.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
In the time that I've spent promoting this thing, I'm amazed. And again, I'm kind of new at this stuff, so I'm brand new at it. Actually, I'm quite amazed at how the positive response I got in the people that I've brought this to. There's been just a handful that has just thrown in the, I can't talk about that, and you have a lot of nerve talking about that, this type of attitude. But like you said, those are the people that really need to go there. The ones that have already healed themselves, they need to bring the ones that don't know about this plant to the hall that night.
Yes, that's exactly it. Because it's that's what Marcel and I had the conversation about this. It's kind of like that preaching to the choir thing. We need to get outside the walls of the church and talk to those that don't know.
Can I ask a question, Jack? I got a buddy here who just asked me a question. What was it that you asked?
Yep.
Oh.
Can you explain to all of us the benefits of ingesting as opposed to smoking?
I didn't hear the last part.
Did you hear what I said, Lori?
The benefits of ingestion as opposed to smoking.
Yeah.
Oh, the benefits. Okay, that's pretty simple. The smoking end of it is the least beneficial way to use cannabis. The ingestion is the best way because of what it does to the system. Through the smoking part of it, that helps if you've got asthma, lung issues, so smoking and vaporizing, so that counts to that. Through the ingestion, when we do that, so what the ingestion part of it does, it pays attention to the gut flora now. So this is why it's good for people with colitis and irritable bowel syndrome. Through the ingestion part of the cannabis, that's the best way to deal with pain because of how the body processes it again. With the people that I've been dealing with the coconut oil extract, with the cannabis coconut oil extract, they get better pain relief eating the plant material. So we decarb it at 240 for an hour, and then we put it into capsules. But they get better pain relief eating the plant material. So the bottom line is you need to get this into you. So we put it in capsules. I put it into my smoothie. So I put a tablespoon of decarb cannabis into my smoothie every single day. So the ingestion part is the best way to deliver cannabis.
Now, would you like the science on it?
No, hold on. He's asking another question. What was that? He wants to know if it's a benefit to eat maybe a capful as a preventative thing.
Is it a benefit to take a cap as a preventative thing?
Yes.
Like
absolutely. Preventative maintenance, absolutely.
Yeah.
Everybody should be taking it every day, just like if you were taking a vitamin. Like a size 0 capsule holds approximately 0.2 grams in it. And so a couple capsules like that'll help anybody with arthritis. That'll help anybody with irritable bowel syndrome. It'll help you sleep. It'll help you with pain. It's like I say, that's the most medicinal way to take it is the decarb cannabis in the capsules when it comes to pain. When we get into the oils, into the concentrates, and so now this is a whole different ball game again, because now we're talking a lot more potent medicine here, and a whole nother set of rules comes into effect again when we start ingesting the oil as compared to the cannabis as compared to smoking. So there's a whole lot of different science that goes with each one.
What exactly is the best method?
The best method?
Yeah.
Well, it depends on how sick you are, too.
Yes. It all depends on what it is that we're treating.
Okay.
For example, if we're just dealing with like a constant back pain, an arthritis, or something like that, so you don't have to do an oil extract because that's a big process. You can just take your cannabis, decarb it grind it up into a powder, decarb it at 240, so it's activated, and then you put that into capsules. And that is actually the way I got off every single medication I was on, because I had originally started to take it for pain, and all the other stuff was just side effects of what happened. It fixed my diabetes and fixed everything. I originally just started to take those capsules for pain, and those are the capsules that I used, and that's what fixed my diabetes, my blood pressure, regulated my weight, 62 pounds. That's what eating those capsules did. I didn't start ingesting oil until I started to battle cancer.
I know.
That's
one of the things that I found helped in describing the efficacy of the different methods of using it was when I was talking to the doctor. He seemed to not understand that there was any difference, and so I equated it to pharmaceuticals, and then he got it. Is that if you have a condition that you have something chronic all the time, ingestion is definitely better, because it's sort of like an OxyContin, that it's a long-term, slower uptake and longer drop-off, and you can stay medicated all day long that way. And the smoking and vaporizing is more like for breakthrough pain, where you would use a short-acting thing like an OxyContin, or a Percocet or a Tylenol 3 or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's the way I described it to the doctor, and he had no problem giving me a higher prescription that way, because I, explained that it took more in order to ingest it. And I'm like you, but I use all different methods all the time.
Yes.
I smoke, I vaporize, I ingest it, I rub it on my skin.
Yes.
Every way possible that you can get it into me.
Exactly. And that's what everybody needs to understand, is you just need to get it in you. It's pretty simple.
Oh, exactly. And, like somebody that would have an arthritis in their hands and a lot of pain that way, rubbing on the balm, it applies the medicine to your body through your skin first, and into the soft tissues and the bones and the muscles and so on. And so, your delivery mechanism is there if you don't want to eat it or smoke it or vaporize it, if you have that kind of a condition. Works awesome for neuropathy too, for my feet and legs and stuff like that, because sometimes at night it's very strange. Sometimes it burns, sometimes it feels like stabbing. Whatever it is, if I rub it down with the balm, usually it goes away enough that I can go back to sleep. Whereas otherwise, there's no way it happens.
I haven't found anything that takes that away from me yet.
So, and like the coconut oil that needs to be added to it, the liquid vitamin D3 to the diet, Marcel, you know how important that is. The cold pressed hemp seed oil.
Yep. The vitamin D, the hemp seed oil, and pure cannabis extract combination is probably the best thing possible to use for MS.
Yes.
Because people with MS are already low in vitamin D, and vitamin D works the same as cannabis, where it has to attach to a lipid. And if it attaches to an omega-3 lipid, it gets used.
Yeah.
If it attaches to an omega-6, like in coconut oil, then only part of it gets used, the rest gets stored in the fat and in its waste.
Did you
This
have
is awesome stuff, guys. It really, really is. And, you know, I'm just so happy that we're able to share this information and that you guys do this. This is, like I say, people need to know it's the safest medication that there is on the planet.
I don't.
Oh, definitely.
Can you guys hear me now or no?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
He wanted to ask another question. I'm going to pass him the mic, and he can hear you as well. So here you go.
Oh, yeah, that's much better.
No, I was just going to say I got pretty much anything to do with smoking it covered.
Okay, now we can't hear you.
You couldn't hear that. He said he's got pretty much everything covered as far as smoking goes. So
the thing is with smoking and ingestion, the big difference is with ingestion, you're going to absorb about 95% of whatever you ingest. When you smoke, every breath you take, you exhale 2/3 unused.
Right.
Yeah.
So every toke, you're only get available cannabinoids. And you have to realize that as you're smoking it, especially in a joint or a bong or something like that, you're literally burning it as well. So you're losing a lot of your cannabinoids. So you get very little cannabinoid dose. But what you do get
99% of it goes up in smoke.
Exactly. So what you end up getting is you get a quicker rush into the bloodstream through the capillaries of your lungs, which basically
at a hotter temperature.
Which basically goes to your brain. So you get high, really high, off of smoking compared to eating. But eating, you can ingest so much more. So what I normally tell people to do is if you have breakthrough pain that your ingested dose doesn't take care of, smoke a joint.
Yeah. I find
vaporize. The vaporization actually gives you a higher percentage of delivery, I believe double of what smoking does, doesn't it?
Well, it'll give you a bit more cannabinoids, but essentially when you're smoking, you're vaporizing first because it's the hot air from that flame that's passing over the cannabinoids that's vaporizing them.
Is this better? Do I sound better now?
But then you're following that vapor with smoke.
Right, but when you're vaporizing, you don't have the carbonization from the burning, plus you have a lower temperature, so you don't necessarily have to activate as much of the THC acid, the THC, right?
Right.
Well, it happens that THC, it vaporizes at 340 degrees.
Yeah.
So when we pass some warm air through it, so we're only removing approximately 1% of the cannabinoids, and the other 99% are still left in the vaporized material. And so this is why we ingest it. So, but it needs to be ingested because that's where all the other cannabinoids will then kick in, and so we'll still have about I'd say about 8% THC left in the material. So this makes so now it has a higher CBD content that's left and makes it very, very sedative. The spent material from a vaporizer, so we can still extract oil from that. We can still turn that into baked goods. We can still make butter out of that. So you get to use it 2 times.
Yeah.
And you can't do that when you smoke it.
No, because that's what goes up in that smoke. The smoke has absolutely nothing to do with you getting high whatsoever. The smoke is just a byproduct of the fire. It's the THC that vaporizes as the heat passes through the rest of the cannabis in the joint.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so the smoke has nothing to do with you getting high.
Yeah, the smoke has nothing to do with it because you can get just as high off a vaporizer.
Yes, and that's exactly what it is. The smoke is just a byproduct of the fire.
Yeah.
It's not very healthy for you either.
No, that's the worst way to use it.
Nobody has ever suffered any ill effects from it either.
No.
Right?
Exactly.
So, I mean, people can say, yeah, it's not good for you, but my attitude is prove it.
Yes, they can. You know, they've been looking for a long time to find something bad with it. And the only thing that I've ever found bad with cannabis is there's never enough.
Yeah. And it cuts into somebody else's profits.
But yeah, it is. It is. It's one of the best things that I've ever come across. It saved my life, and it saved the life of many others.
Vaporizing is great for expectorant too, eh?
Oh yeah,
Pot in general is is a natural expectorant.
But here's the other thing, because they say that I honestly think somebody should carry around a joint with them all the time, especially if they're a heart patient, and have a joint with them
instead of an aspirin.
Because the first sign of a heart attack, what you should do is induce coughing. And what better way to do it than with a big old fat stinky joint?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, because coughing will actually causes your heart to slow down.
Oh, and plus
you can literally cough yourself unconscious if you get a big coughing jag.
Oh yeah.
All right, and it's because your heart slows down so much
that it's lack of oxygen and you pass out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. So cough. If you see somebody starting to have a heart attack, give them a joint.
Have a joint.
What if they can't smoke pot? What if they don't like pot? What if
they're going to cough anyways? Doesn't matter if they like it or not. The idea is for them to cough.
Of course.
And a good stinky old joint will make you cough.
Yeah, nothing will do it like that.
There's a question from Daisy in the chat room. Says, after you build it up in your body and you no longer feel high from it, is it still working? And the question that I would put back is, are you in pain? And if no, then yes, it's still working.
I've had that argument with potheads.
But you see, that's what a lot of people don't understand. A lot of people still chase that high.
Right. They can't differentiate between relief and high.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And so like for myself, my high is my health. Knowing how good I feel and everything that has happened to me. So that's my high, is the fact that I'm on this side of the lawn and my diabetes is under control, my blood pressure is under control, my weight is under control, and I feel like a racehorse. That's my high.
There you go. The ability to live is a hell of a high.
So if your bladder's under control, does that mean that aspect of you is not as a racehorse anymore?
That's right.
So you don't go pissing as a racehorse.
That's right.
That's just, that's amazing when you think, I can't remember how many conditions I have and I use nothing but cannabis.
Yep.
I've lost 50 pounds, my allergies don't bother me as much, all the other things, and the reparation that has to be happening when I do have the extracts that I used to. Places that I used to have no feeling whatsoever, I'm recovering the feelings of touch and temperature. I was told that was never going to happen.
Yeah, you've mentioned that before, yeah.
Oh, damage that I had from onset is long been recovered.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen any real new damage, which is shocking considering that's all I ever was seeing was new damage all the time.
They put a stop to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, stops it.
But I'll have a relapse, but for me now a relapse doesn't feel like I'm dying. It just feels like I've got the flu and I'm pretty cranky.
Yeah. I don't like that feeling at all.
No. But those are still even far and few between. Because before, when this all started, I'd be in a relapse. As soon as I'd come out, I'd just back into another one.
Well, you see, you haven't had, I don't remember, it's probably 2 years ago Christmas last time you had a bad one, right?
Yeah. At least 2 years ago.
Yeah, I think it was like 2013 around Christmas or in the fall that you had the last bad one, but
yeah.
The fact that we can regain our ability to do stuff the way we do, and with the new political landscape here in Canada, the next step, I think, for all of us is to do exactly what Tom and Marcel and his groups down east, and hopefully MCPAC will be able to get more active in it, is to get out and actually tell the public face-to-face what the situation is with us and realize we're not scary, that we're not begging for drugs. You know, like for a doctor to say that, I've had so many patients report to me that doctors put in their files that they are what do I want to say? Showing drug-seeking behavior because they're asking for cannabis. Yeah, I want cannabis. Oh, that's drug-seeking behavior. No, that's get off the drug-seeking behavior. Like, seriously?
My doctor has a cool filing system. He doesn't do anything computerized. He actually has file folders for all his patients still.
Cool.
And the inside cover of the file folder is where he always goes to first, because that's where every important note is about that patient is on the inside cover. Mine has will not accept narcotics written across the top.
You know what? I have a new doctor I start seeing next Tuesday, and I met her in Emerge for my toe issue that I'm having at the moment, and I told her flat out that I will not take opiates. And because of my honesty, and because of saying that I'm a cannabis patient right off the bat, she's taking me on as a new patient. And I think that's great.
Excellent.
Yeah. Yeah.
Taking a Section 53.
I'm excited. It's the first thing I'm going to do.
Yeah, taking in a Section 53, and you want that therapeutic gardening checked off.
Yes.
Yep.
Because it's very therapeutic to grow your own.
We'll be talking about that before I go.
That's established medical need.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, I have lots of established medical need. One being ADHD, which I'm on ODSP for. So I mean, how can anybody dispute that? It's on the list. I'd be like saying, Marcel, you can't have pot anymore just because you have MS. Do you know what I
mean? Gee, the government of Canada told me I was allowed to grow my own.
Well, I have to say, if Mr. Trudeau comes through on what he has said publicly, we will have an environment where we have legalized cannabis for adults to do with as they may. A medical program, so if children need it, they have access also. And those of us that can grow should be able to grow with medical need, right?
Exactly.
Absolutely. Yes.
Exactly.
But it's still not going to keep it out of the hands of kids.
Well, I mean, we've got to figure out a way.
No, as long as there's somebody on the street corner, it's not going to keep it out of the hands of kids.
It'll never keep it out of the hands of the kids. So my response would be, who cares?
Educate them.
Take it off the CDSA, and then nobody cares.
After the kids use it for a little while, they'll get bored of it, and they'll go to sniffing glue or something else.
Well, that's it. If you really want to... Is this escapism when it makes you so much more aware of what the fuck is going on around you?
Yes. That's actually
I think what it should be made available to the kids. That's why they're on all the other shit.
Right.
That's true.
I'd sooner have a kid using cannabis than sniffing glue or in mom and dad's OxyContin pills or the morphine pills and crushing them up and snorting them. All that is, they don't have access to cannabis, so that's what they do. If cannabis was available, it would be a whole different story. It's education, again, is where we're at. Education is key.
It's actually the only non-toxic thing of that entire list you just...
Exactly.
Here's the thing. They're going to tax and regulate it to keep it out of the hands of children, just like alcohol.
Yeah.
Well, why is the average age for alcohol-induced comas in my town 12 years old?
Yeah.
Right? That works well, doesn't it?
Are you serious?
Well.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's fucking
works
crazy.
Really well, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Alcohol poisoning at the age of 14. And if you listen to one of Harper's speeches, he actually said something about what the hell is it that we don't have control of alcohol and tobacco from children or something. There's somewhere that he actually says it's too easy for them to get, even the way it is controlled now.
Because that kid had her alcohol poisoning at
his house. Oh, yes, right. I forgot all about that.
I don't forget things like that.
Yeah, really. Yeah.
Oh, they were just drinking over in Hull.
Yeah. But
that's what you do when you live in Ottawa. You know, you go over to Hull and drink.
Go over to Hull.
Yeah. Lower drinking age, isn't it?
It's a year lower, yeah. You can get drunk in 18 and then come back across the bridge to Ottawa where it's 19 for a limit.
It's like Manitoba used to be 18 and Ontario was 19.
What is Montreal?
18.
18?
Yeah, Quebec is 18. Ontario's 19. And the bars in Quebec used to be open 2 hours later than here.
They're open till 2 here now, I believe.
Yeah, they used to be. Yeah, it's not as big a deal now with the later hours. But
I'm in the chat room, and Dale says they can't even keep weed or anything else out of the jails and prisons. My first day in jail, I smoked a doobie.
Oh, jeepers!
He hooked up with the right guy on the first day when he got to smoke a doobie.
You'd have to, yeah, for sure.
His new girlfriend.
Or boyfriend.
I have to say, here's some of the irony of this situation. I'm not sure if irony is the right word. When Rona Ambrose was all upset about the dispensaries out in Vancouver normalizing cannabis, was many months after our MCPAC's council had told me that while he was working duty council in our local town here, or city, that he was stunned to how many kids thought cannabis was not still illegal. Like, he would go in and he'd say, okay, what are you charged with? Possession. Okay, so did you have anything? No, I just had a little bit of pot.
Jesus, you know, I just want to say, yeah, that's ridiculous.
Oh, it's apparently rampant.
That's
well,
that blows my mind.
Maybe we'll have a prime minister that do the right thing and actually listen to the patients before he just goes gung ho with this tax, regulate, and screw everybody else.
Well, you know,
well, he has repeatedly said in public that he thinks we should have our own garden.
Well, I mean, if you're
right, but are we going to have a limit to that garden?
And is it only going to be for medical, or can recreational grow as well?
Right.
Oh, I have no idea about that. Like, when I met him, he had not even.
What I'm afraid of is him turning around and saying that, all right, everybody can grow 6 plants each.
Yeah, I know when I met him, I said, I asked him about what they were going to do, and he said they'll legalize marijuana. I said, that does nothing for cannabis patients, you know, who need it medicinally. And then I said, unless, of course, you plan to regulate it like beer and wine, where you can make your own at home. That would be okay with us.
Right.
Right?
But the difference being is I wouldn't survive on 6 plants.
No.
There's no. What makes you think you would have to survive on 6 plants?
I'm surviving on 146 plants.
When you're a medical patient, I don't see how any of these limits would. I don't know where people are getting all the stories that they're getting now.
Oh, God, isn't it fucking horrible?
Oh,
it's driving me cuckoo. You know what?
Oh, my gosh!
They're spinning it now. What they're doing is they're taking words out of context and they're making whole new articles about it. Okay,
that's why I've been staying the hell off the internet.
It's craziness. I mean, right down to what was the one I mentioned there just before we started there? Stop ogling our new prime minister.
Yeah,
you know, Mr. Cutie Pie. Right?
What?
Yeah,
well, this is what's hit the news now is all of the Americans think that we've got the hottest prime minister ever. And,
oh yeah,
and girls are sending tweets saying that they want to, them and their friends want to move to Canada.
Yeah, they think he's Mr. McHottie.
Oh yeah, he's a hot guy.
Yeah, he's it. He's got that.
I think, in all honesty, we'd be hard pressed to think of another world leader that's that good looking for a very, 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 very long
I have to add something. He has really nice fucking hair.
Well, I mean, I've got to listen to him in person, and I'll tell you, he definitely has the charisma.
Oh, I know. When I met him, yeah.
I mean,
It's
the
pretty
charisma,
obvious.
the charisma that he puts out is almost spellbinding.
Have you ever heard of a political figure showing up at a subway and shaking hands with his constituents just to say thank you?
But even better was the one that they took the picture of him helping somebody down the stairs
in a wheelchair. Yeah,
carrying a wheelchair down the stairs.
Yeah,
exactly.
I was going to mention that as well.
After he's elected, and there's no Secret Service standing around.
No, none. Like he and
a photo op, isn't it?
Yeah,
it is a photo op, and he's smart for using it. But by the same token, something about it seems genuine.
What Marcel was saying about charisma, he does seem genuine when you meet him.
Yes.
He does.
But you got to remember who he's the son of.
Yes.
All right. So
Margaret,
he learned that charisma at a very early age.
Oh, yes. He was standing beside his father while he was talking with heads of state and stuff, I'm sure.
How many other people on this show were taught by their fathers that you judge a man by his handshake?
Me.
Yeah. Not really, no.
Okay, yeah. That's what I was taught too. And
I believe that, though. I believe that, but I wasn't taught
It's good.
that. Yeah. I was taught to respect somebody that shows you respect back. You know?
Okay, when he talks to you, he looks you in the eye.
Yes.
Yes.
I noticed that.
You know? That's rare.
And he's not. I noticed that he's not doing, the cupping of the hand when he's shaking somebody's hand. You know, they say that when a politician or a salesman or a head of a corporation that's a salesman grabs your hand and gives you that, hey, how you doing, and then cups your other hand. You know what I mean? Gives the cup thing. That's a very phony handshake.
I was a salesman, and I never did that ever in my life.
The fist pump, that's the modern thing to do.
The water pump.
The water pump.
No, actually, what I'll do is I always have a firm handshake. If I shake hands, I'll gauge my hand. As soon as the hands meet, I can already gauge what kind of a handshake it's going to be. And
I hate those little fingertip ones. I'm really uncomfortable with those. I'm not sure what the hell to do when they do that.
Or somebody passes your hand and it feels like it's just a big floppy wet noodle.
Hello, hi, how nice to meet you.
Yeah,
exactly.
Now we're talking about handshakes. We got way off of cannabis.
Well, you know
No, we were talking about Trudeau, but
But you know what?
Basically,
that's because we're smoking cannabis.
Yeah.
And I just finished smoking a really nice smooth sativa.
So let's get back into the conversation. Oh,
how about that question that we skipped there a while ago?
And double
Jack,
O.
I think Al was asking you how many grams a day your exemption is. If you mind telling anybody.
What's that?
Your exemption a day. What can you have?
How many? Like we tend to normalize it, if you'll say, by reminding people of the amount of cannabis that we use every day and still have, semi-intelligent conversation like this.
My script, because of where we are in the court, so I have the one that's for 3 grams a day, but for my script from 2 years ago is for 40 grams a day. So I have that in the house, and it's good for 199 plants.
Yeah. See, what I do is when I do any speaking engagements, at the end of the speaking is when I tell them how many grams a day I use and how much I actually have in my system at that time.
Yeah, that's people have a hard time believing them when I tell them what I have in my system.
Yeah, it's the ultimate eye opener, though.
Oh, absolutely, because a lot of people, like, what they need to understand is, like, there is a tolerance that you have to because of everything that I've dealt with. Like, for myself, I take probably between 2 to 3 grams of straight oil a day, a 10 milliliter tube of coconut cannabis oil extract, and then I probably eat 2 or 3 baked goods a day, and then I vaporize from 4:30 in the morning until I go to bed at nighttime. So I medicate all day long so I can function.
Yep.
That's
I have that in me every single day.
Wow.
I just drank 2 large coffees with big heaping tablespoons of medicated mocha ice cream.
Yeah.
Medicated mocha ice cream.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I used to infuse flavored cream to put in my coffee. Yeah, French vanilla.
I'm gonna try.
Actually, it was Madagascar vanilla, but yeah.
I'm gonna try. Marcel is continuously telling me to stop baking cookies, so I'm gonna try a frosting this weekend.
Yeah, go for the frosting.
Yeah, I will now. Great conversation to have. Marcel and I spent the afternoon giggling and snorting. And normally we don't talk to each other all week.
We talked more today than we talked in a month, I think.
I was going to say, yeah. But we were talking about chlorophyll and ways to get rid of chlorophyll and ways to stop feeling that oogie feeling from the chlorophyll and stuff like that. Any suggestions? Anybody can take that question.
I can answer that question right now because a past guest that we had on the show has just tested this to remove chlorophyll from extract or basically from the solvent and after it's been soaked in the plant, and he used charcoal.
Oh, a charcoal filter.
Are you serious?
Charcoal filter, and it took out pretty much all of the green of it.
Could you use...
Yeah, I want all the green that the plant has to offer because I find it very strange that we're taking the most medicinal plant and then also removing the most beneficial part of the plant also.
Okay, well,
the issue, Jack, with chlorophyll is with a lot of people, especially me included,
upsets the stomach.
Yeah,
it affects
it
the
really
gag reflex.
It's also upsetting my dogs.
Me all the way through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the way through.
Literally.
So I can't eat any medible.
Oh, so you've been greened
butter.
out.
Oh, definitely greened out.
Yeah, me too.
All right, and I know a lot of patients. So then, what I started doing is coming up with recipes using just pure cannabis extract oil without the chlorophyll.
Okay.
And what I've done is I've taken recipes and made them taste the way they should, so that you don't taste any medicine in it at all. So I make an Eat More bar that I just won a cup with, and it tastes just like an Eat More bar that you bought in the store. But it's got 150 milligrams of cannabis in it.
Yeah, I've been doing buttercream candies and something like an After 8 mint.
Ooh, really?
Oh yeah, man.
I'm coming over to your
popular.
place.
I've made mouse bars like the coconut filled, covered in medicated chocolate that tastes just like a mouse bar.
Oh wow.
Right?
Yeah,
So-
last Christmas I had medicated buttercreams, medicated truffles, medicated After 8s, medicated. Yeah.
I've had medicated truffles, and we've made Tim and I made medicated butter tarts, and they were fucking awesome. We made a medicated pie. It was, I think it was cherry, if I remember. I don't really remember. We were going to try and make a medicated lemon meringue pie as well, but we haven't figured out how to do that yet.
Oh, you know what works really well is I did a pineapple upside down cake thing in muffin tins.
Yeah.
So they were dosed. But yeah, so it was a medicated pineapple and cherry upside down muffin tin, large muffin tin size upside down cakes with a squirt of whipped cream.
Wow. Jack,
they were awesome.
Jack, can you explain to me, Jack, why we want to leave. Like I love playing the devil's advocate. I love being in the middle of the ring.
And you might want to bring up the Tommy Chong story then with him.
I wanted to know if you can explain to me why we want to keep the chlorophyll.
Because chlorophyll, you go to the store and buy chlorophyll. It's one of the most important things that you can put into your body when you're fighting a sickness.
Okay, so is there a way to get around the oogie feeling that you get from chlorophyll?
Well, what it is, it's the taste that you guys are having. It's not actually the chlorophyll.
Right. It's
taste.
the flavor from the chlorophyll affects your gag reflex. And
so I put it into a capsule. There's no taste. See, I don't have a problem with the green, and so if that's the case, it's the taste of it. And so we put it into a size 0 capsule, then you just swallow it.
I love the taste of cannabis in every form.
Yeah, so that's like for the chlorophyll is very, very important.
I can chew and swallow a raw bud, but I cannot eat a cookie that I can taste it in.
So, Marcel,
I have no idea why, but yeah.
Marcel, when you're making your oil, obviously there's chlorophyll in the oil as well, but that doesn't affect you the same way?
The amount of chlorophyll that I have is very, 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 very low.
How do you get it to be so low?
Because I don't soak the plant. Because what you have to realize, it's also a trade-off. As soon as the solvent hits the cannabinoids, they get dissolved. Chlorophyll gets leached out of the plant, but when you leach something out, you've got to put something in. Well, the only thing that you can put in is dissolved cannabinoids.
Mm-hmm.
So you're actually trading off cannabinoids for chlorophyll.
Oh, that are already saturated in the alcohol that is absorbed into the...
Right?
Not quite.
Okay.
Well, yeah, you have to, if you're taking something out, you've got to put something
when we do
back
a longer soak, what happens, it just lowers the percentage of the THC, and it raises all the other cannabinoids that we get out of the extract. If there's a graph, I'll post it for you guys. And so what it is, we'll put a rough number to it. Let's say we've got 80% extract, and then the other cannabinoids come in at 10, 12, 14, 16. So I do a month-long soak, and then the TH number drops down to about 65%, but all the other numbers come up to 55, 60. So now I've increased all the cannabinoids, so I've got all the terpenes out of the cannabis plant.
What do you use for a solvent?
Grain alcohol.
Okay, see, we use isopropyl alcohol here.
Yeah.
The reason we use isopropyl is because isopropyl is both polar and non-polar. So it actually strips off all the cannabinoids, so you don't have to let it soak as long.
Yeah, well, I have a problem with the isopropyl.
Well, I mean, everybody says residual alcohol is not good for you, but I've had mine.
Well, it's not the residual alcohol, it's the benzene ring that's left that can't be removed because isopropyl alcohol is a byproduct of oil. And so what happens if you don't get a complete purge, the isopropyl, it starts to penetrate the intestinal walls, and then it allows, what's it called, other bacteria to penetrate your system. And so now what happens, it leaves a benzene ring, and the side effect of the benzene ring is leukemia. So that's... Yeah.
I had a conversation with a medical chemist that works in a medical lab, and I actually posed that question to her about all the different solvents and stuff like that. And I didn't favor any. I just told her everything that everybody was using. And she first reiterated the thing about the difference between isopropyl in different countries and what is and is not allowed to be in it and all that other stuff. And then went on to basically to say the same thing that Marcel was, and I brought up the benzene ring, actually. And she said that she basically said the same thing that you did, is that as long as there was a good purge and that there was no residual alcohol in the concentrate, that would not be an issue. because that was because I told her that she'd asked me about Rick Simpson oil. Actually, it was a conversation at an Army Navy club, and yeah, she had actually asked me, what he had used for that one, and when I said naphtha, she just about had a freak.
Well, since we're talking about solvents, can you guys elaborate on the three different ones that we've just talked about and what they actually are?
Well, let me just first say that I've had my oil tested for residuals.
Yeah, you did.
And my oil's testings come back at less than 0.01 part per million. So
I have a rule of thumb
basically
that we
non-existent.
can't eat or drink if we don't use it.
Well, you can drink 12 milliliters of isopropyl before you start having ill effects. But for me, at the rate that they said that I'd have residual alcohol, it would take me 150,000 years in the size of the capsules I eat to get that 12 milliliters. And cannabis is good, but it's not that freaking good to keep me alive that long.
Well, that's where we're going to have to agree to disagree on that one.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
Exactly.
We're going to have to agree to disagree on that one.
Everybody has their own method.
And their own reasonings.
Exactly.
Now, can we
I have
talk?
to say that
for me, it's the science that dictates. It's one of those. Like I say, you have to be positive that you get a clean purge. If you don't get a clean purge, then we're open to secondary issues. And when we open to secondary issues and we start to mess with the intestines, because that's where our immune system is in our guts. And then so what happens then, we start to allow parasites into the system because our guts can no longer handle it, and that's just the side effects of isopropyl.
Okay, so are there side effects for grain alcohol?
No, because you can drink that.
Are there side effects for the naphtha?
Yes, that's paint thinner. That'll kill you. So what I use either coconut oil or grain alcohol. That's the safest. The biggest thing is people don't use the grain alcohol because of the cost. That adds to an extraction $300.
It's that much more?
I don't like using anything that's extracted with butane. I don't, to my knowledge, used a butane extraction, I don't think.
I've had that before many times. It's what you would normally get on the street.
No, I don't. No.
Marcel,
yes.
Damn it. I was going to ask you a question about crap.
A question about crap.
No.
One thing I have to say is that all of those of us who have been successful in our own medication with this plant have found our own niches, tricks, and tips for our own way of production and ingestion and delivery methods. And every single one of them are different because every single one of our situations are different. Every single one of our research is different. Every single one of our beliefs is different, as with every single person you're going to meet.
And
so,
I want to throw into that
the agree to disagree thing.
That's right. I want to just throw something into that. The one thing that nobody has mentioned yet is each strain and each way you make it is patient specific. Right? For each ailment that you have. So one method may work better for another method, right?
Here was my reasoning, and I mean, I talk to doctors and pharmacists and researchers, because I have those kind of people as friends, and we talked about solvents way back in 2008 when I first started doing this, and the consensus was the most logical choice was to use isopropyl alcohol because of the ability of being both polar and non-polar. My theory back then was I'm treating an endocannabinoid deficiency. I have no idea which cannabinoid I'm deficient in. So I want them all. And this is what I've done ever since. And then I've had the ability that I can get... when I test my oil, it's pretty close to the plant spectrum when I'm looking at testing the raw plant, because my oil runs around the 25 to 30% THC level, which means that I've got 70% of all of the other cannabinoids sitting there.
And that's with isopropyl.
That's with isopropyl.
Now, with alcohol, are you losing anything? Like that?
Well, yeah, because if you're getting 55 and 60% THC, then what's happened to that other 30% that's missing, or 20% that's missing? And which ones were they?
Have you had your meds tested, Jack?
Pardon me?
Have you had your stuff tested?
Yes.
And it comes out about the same, or?
Yeah, it comes back clean.
Yeah,
everything comes back clean, and it's the spectrum that we want the full spectrum, eh? We want everything that the plant has, and so like the quick wash and that stuff. I've taken material that after people have done the 3 quick rinses, and they were done with it, and after they were done, I pulled another 18 grams of oil out of it. You know, so there's many different ways to do it, and like yourself, you've done enough batches to know when it's correct.
Now, what's the quickest?
Right? You can tell when it's done even just by the smell of it.
What's the quickest?
Oh yeah,
just the entire process. You know, so. And again, and it's like you say, it all depends on what it is that you need to do and how aggressively that you need to attack it, and what end we're going to attack it from. And the object, if we're dealing with cancer, is try to get as close to the cancer site as possible. So if it's like from your heart and up, so then we try to do it subliminally, underneath the tongue. And if it's below the heart and that, so then we do suppository, because there's an artery that goes from the colon that goes into the lungs. And so we do suppositories if people have a problem with the high, because there is no high when you do a suppository. So there's many different ways to do it, and many different ways to do it in extraction, and it all depends on what it is that we're trying to treat.
What's the quickest method for extracting oil safely?
The quickest method for extracting oil, I prefer the coconut.
Through coconut oil. And you use hemp oil instead of coconut oil, right, Marcel?
My extraction is to pure oil, and then I mix it with hemp seed oil. And Jack, that's something. Okay. What kind of tinctures do you use under the tongue for sublingual?
Oh, we use the straight oil.
Try this. Try mixing your hemp seed oil with your straight oil at room temperature, and give them a drop of that, and let the omega-3s carry it into, or let the basically omega-3s carry it into the bloodstream.
Well, I was using as coconut oil as a little carrier to do that. So the hemp oil is a little better than that.
Oh, much better. But you've got to definitely cut back on the dosage size. So ideally, what I do for a sublingual is I'll mix a 1 to 10 ratio, or even a 1 to 20, and go with a very small drop, or I'll put it in a spray pump bottle and use it one spray at a time.
Usually if you're coming to, if you end up here sitting at my table, usually you don't have too much time left. So the 1 to 10 like that, so we go usually pretty aggressive.
Well, no, I'm saying with the hemp seed oil, well, I mean, if they don't mind being a little wrecked, by all means, you could go 1 to 1 ratio.
Yeah, that's a lot of times we have to go very aggressive.
Give her. They're going to be high.
Yeah,
they're going to be really high, but give it.
It's one of those. That's one of the side effects.
My ratio was always a 1 to 1 ratio.
Yes, that's what I like, the 1 to 1 ratio. Well, and if we have a problem with the high, there's acetylcholine that we tell people to take. So you take it, an hour before you take the oil, and that helps. That brings it down.
There was just an article I saw about that. Yeah,
saying about the dangers of using acetylcholine.
Cancer, yeah.
There's it's a half a dozen, 6 of the other. Again, it all depends again what it is, and so everybody needs to do their research.
Oh, yeah.
We can only give you information, and then you need to decide what it is and what you need out of the information that we give you to address it to yourself.
Well, that's one thing I was going to say one thing I laughed at is somebody who had been diagnosed with terminal cancer, and their complaint was that they were sleeping. And I said, well, you heal when you sleep.
Yes.
Oh.
That's when you do your most healing. But yes. I was at normally a 1-to-1 ratio, and I would take anywhere from 2 to 6 capsules a day. And what happened is, as I started getting better, I started getting high again. So
really?
I've actually cut it back. I'm now taking a 1-to-3 ratio, and I'm only taking about 3 or 4 pills a day.
I was taking
I'm not getting high from it.
I was taking a 1-to-4 ratio for a little while, and it put me in the hospital. I thought I was having a heart attack.
Tea, Marcel?
I love mango, but I don't do the tea thing.
That's what if you like when that's what's cleaning your receptors, eh?
No, this is long term because it's this is over a long period of time that it started doing this, and it just slowly started getting worse and worse and worse till I had to start cutting it back. It wasn't that I was eating a lot of mango
because you're done healing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And what I found a long time ago is people that are really sick don't get very high.
No.
They get a lot. And my reasoning for this is your body is using where it needs it the most, which is to heal the body. As your body heals and you start to get high, then start cutting back your dose so that you're not high, but you're still healing, as well as having a maintenance dose.
Yeah, for sure.
But see, I don't treat cancer as a rule. We've got it set up pretty good here in Atlantic Canada because we work together. So if a patient comes to me that has cancer, I'll pass them on to somebody that works with more cancer patients. And if they have somebody I take anybody with autoimmune disorders.
Right.
So MS, lupus, ALS, any of those. Because that's what I have is an autoimmune disorder. So that's what I've spent all my time really researching. But everything is kind of the same. A lot of times I'll send cancer patients to Jack for information. Won't I, Jack?
Yep.
We send lots of people to Jack.
Right? Because I don't deal with a whole lot of cancer. Because
that's
I'm more
that's
known
where
for
I'm
researching autoimmune. So.
Well, that's it. And where our experience lies is where our own conditions are. Because I remember one day the doctor said something to me about seeming to know a lot about cannabis. I said, well, I've been researching it every day for the last 8 years. So,
30.
Yeah.
Pretty much that's the way it is. And it's
your own
because exactly. And that's it, whether it's chronic pain or muscle spasms or tingling or,
Here's how my attitude is with the medical profession. They have experts in their field or specialists. But the thing is every one of those experts became an expert by reading books. The books were written by other experts who took the information from patients.
Right.
So
it's all based on anecdotal information.
Ideally, who would be the real expert? The person with the illness or the person that read a book?
Duh.
Well, clearly the person with the illness.
Clearly.
Exactly. So,
and the fact that we've come to a point today where so many patients tell me that their doctors don't even validate their complaints anymore.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
Well, here, have a pill and get out. But it's that attitude that I have about the medical industry that has me banned from going to the MS clinic. Because they know I am the expert.
Yeah. You got banned from the clinic?
Yeah, I'm not allowed in the clinic anymore.
I love you, Marcel.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, I've been banned from a couple places too.
I was asked to leave a pain clinic because I was talking to patients waiting to go into said pain clinic about cannabis.
Yeah, I do it in the drugstore.
Oh, yeah? I don't go to a drugstore anymore.
My pharmacist closes her ears when I walk in. La 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 la. I can't hear you.
I just go there to buy denture cream.
When I was in emergency last week there for my toe, I had 3 nurses surrounding me and a doctor, and I was giggling about. They asked me if I needed anything for pain. I went, no, I smoked a doobie on the way over. And they started laughing, and I said, just so you know, I am licensed. And they went, oh, okay. And then they opened up a little bit and started talking. But until I said that, they were like, I could hardly hear what they were saying, you know. But it's nice to hear doctors and nurses talking about it, at least.
Well,
we talk about it everywhere we go, don't we?
I've been told I talk about it too much.
I had somebody actually unfriend me. They told me I had too much cannabis on my page.
Yeah.
It's when
thinks that I have too much cannabis on my page is definitely in the wrong part of Facebook.
Yeah, really. When that's all we do all day, every day. Really. What else do you put there?
And speaking of
that's
unfriending,
what I thought. You asked to be my friend, so what did you expect?
Yeah. Speaking of,
I open this thing up. It says, "What am I thinking? What are you doing today?"
That's
so
hilarious.
I tell you.
I had somebody PM me on Twitter telling me that I post too much Canadian content.
I saw that.
So I said, I'm Canadian, eh? What do you want me for? Sorry. I had somebody, when I came home from voting, I tweeted, #voted, #fuck you Harper. And somebody actually took the time to type to me, unfriend, and then unfriended me.
Really?
Yeah. So when we're leaving the show, Lori was so nice. We've got another 15 minutes, but Lori was so nice to put together a disclaimer.
We should have played that at the beginning of the show, shouldn't we?
No, well, I'm just, I don't care if we play it or not, to be honest with you. But I thought I'd play it just to make a point. Shall we listen to it?
Sure.
Okay. Can't hear it, can you?
No.
No. But the people can hear it.
Oh, okay.
Yes, the people can hear it. I think. Maybe not. I don't know. We'll play it again anyways when we're leaving.
Can you translate it?
What's that?
Can you translate it?
Yeah. It said, we don't care if you like what we say or not.
It's our personal opinions.
Well, the fact of the matter is that people seem to take things and make them into molehills or into mountains when they're really molehills, and it's silly.
Well, that's like all the news recently since Mr. Trudeau won. Like, it's not news.
Exactly.
If it's somebody's opinion or conjecture of what might happen in somebody's imagination, and they took the time to type an article about it.
Right now, politically, I am just as confused as I am about the cannabis situation in Canada.
It's our personal opinions.
It is. Yep.
The matter is that
Huh?
Dead air. Dead air. I'm just kidding.
Oh, no.
Everybody's sleeping.
Is there something playing in the background, or are we supposed to be talking now?
Oh, we're supposed to be talking now, yeah.
Oh,
okay.
On with the show. This is it.
I'm going to get that for next week.
I have a campaign to throw out there. How about everybody that listens to this show send something to the Liberal government begging them to make their new policy about cannabis, not
Instead of marijuana.
Oh, God, yeah, I saw that.
Actually, what I'd rather see people do is tell your Liberal representative that patients should be included in Prime Minister Trudeau's task force.
Yes.
to implement cannabis regulations.
Look,
They have former Toronto Police Chief Bill Blair. How about a couple of patients?
if they
Put the people that actually use it on that board.
if they want to
Put me
call
on
it
that board. I
marijuana,
want on board.
if the recreational users want to call it marijuana, you go right ahead. But the medical users should be medical patients should be calling it cannabis.
Well, I don't think it should be called marijuana ever, anyways.
I'm joking.
Correct.
I am so sick. You call it whatever you want, but the proper name is cannabis sativa, and if you don't know that by now, you should be Googling stuff.
Yep. That's the name of the plant.
That's the name of the plant.
And if you look it up in Merriam-Webster's dictionary, I believe the definition of marijuana is the crude dried leaves and flowers of the
cannabis sativa
plant.
Yes.
I called my plant Bill.
I usually call mine Mary. Mary Jane.
There you go.
Here's my coughing fit for the night. I'm done.
Has everybody over medicated or something here today? Or?
Yeah, we're medicated right now.
This happens. This happens every show around the last 15-20 minutes of the show, unless we're not medicating during the show. We're kind of all three of us are kind of like at that.
I was just sitting here thinking it's a good opportunity to maybe talk about next week's show.
Well, yes.
First, I want to point out there we're medicating here, and I'm getting secondhand medicating going here.
Oh, blow some over here, would you?
What's that?
Blow some over here. I'd like to let the gentleman have a few minutes before we go to talk about the Green Thinking event. I'm going to try and come down if I can. We'll see. If I'm there, you'll see me.
Oh, great.
Elaborate a little bit again about what's happening, where you're going to be, where you can get tickets, all that stuff, websites, everything.
Okay. Again, the event is called Green Thinking, and I guess I would start at the website. It's www.green-thinking.net. Now, on the site there'll be information where to get tickets. You can actually have it set up that you can get tickets online, and there'll be a will call office set up at the Migration Hall. Or there are locations within the Essex County area, the Windsor, Kingsville area, to get pickup tickets as well. And also, I want to also make sure everybody out there that can't make it, they can also tune in. We TV down here in Windsor has taken on responsibility to webcast this thing. That link is also on the web, on the Green Thinking website as well. So if somebody can't make it down there, they can always hook up and catch it later on, or I should say live, but not in the house. Also, I want to say that again, I touched on earlier that a lot of the speakers are going to be testimonial speakers. We are not medical people. We are not going to be giving medical advice unless there's a doctor present, of course. So it's just basically their personal stories on how they've been, been taken care of by cannabis, whether it be cancer, MS, depression, or epilepsy, or this type of thing. So I'm very excited about it. And I came into, again, I tell you, I'm new at this. I came into this through Jack a little while ago, and I was so excited. I said, Jack, this story has got to be told on a large scale, and that's the reason we're putting this thing on, is just to bring the common folk that aren't aware or aren't comfortable with talking about this subject, bring them to the table and just hearing some of the real people with their real stories.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to go.
Well, hope you can make it. I'd be more than happy to.
Hop on a plane, Marcel.
You can watch on webcast, though, and ask questions.
Yes.
Yes, you can.
And that's what I shall do.
Good.
Oh, yeah, I'm really looking forward to meeting the
You never know. I may even send in questions.
That's true.
That's
you direct it to Jack.
Take it easy on me.
I was going to say, if Marcel sends in questions, it's only to fuck with Jack.
Yeah, I know.
Don't direct it at me, Marcel.
Oh, no, this question's for Jack.
He's the new guy. He'd be the guy to direct him to.
Tom, this question's for you. Why wouldn't Jack...
Why wouldn't Jack what?
Whatever. I'll just ask Tom questions about Jack.
I got you, yeah.
What is happening next week, folks? I don't know. I haven't been paying attention.
I don't know, but we were going to talk about a hotel.
Oh, yeah, I wanted to talk about that. It seems that the hotel that was the primary hotel that was used in The Shining, they are opening up the world's first horror-themed museum and hotel.
I read that. Did you post that today? Because I read that somewhere.
I did
and
post
it's going
that.
to be in Colorado.
Yeah, I'm going to just pull up the website if I...
wow.
Yeah, so... Yeah,
It's in Colorado?
Yeah. So you can go and have a lot of fun then.
Within the first 6 months of it opening, if I can get down there, I'm going to go because The Shining is my all-time favorite movie.
You know, it'd be cool that when you're laying there sleeping in your hotel room in the middle of the night, somebody comes and drives an axe through your door.
Here's Johnny.
That'd be an expensive stay, replacing doors every night.
No, but you could have a door that's made that way that you could just knock out a piece type thing.
I'm sure they do. I'm sure they have some gimmicks and stuff like that. I was looking at pictures of the hotel, actually. It's a working hotel. It has been this whole time, and it was featured in Stephen King's The Shining. But it was also the Ani Hotel in Yosemite, I guess. Yosemite? How do you say it?
Yosemite
National Park was also used in the movie. So they're going to do a film festival. There's a $24 million development going into it. There's a 500-seat auditorium, 3,000 square foot interactive museum, and space for the Colorado Film School.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
I bet those rooms are going to be expensive.
What's his name there? I'm just looking here. There's somebody that's okay. The founding board for this includes icons like George Romero, Elijah Wood, and Simon Pegg. So, I mean, there's some heavy-duty thumping behind it going on.
Which means that also with some of those people, there's going to be some awesome special effects in this.
You think?
For sure.
I want to go. I want to stay in room 237.
Yeah, if they even let you have it.
Yeah, well...
I wonder if Nicholson will be there for the premiere.
What was that?
I wonder if Nicholson will be there for the premiere.
Well, as I said, I was looking at pictures of the actual hotel, and there were pictures of a lot of impersonators standing there in front of the hotel with an axe and things like that. And then there's one picture taken, I think it was after, because he looks older, of Jack at the hotel. So, yeah.
If the hotel was smart, they'd put in a dispensary and a vapor lounge.
Oh yeah, if it's in Colorado.
Definitely. I mean, that would be awesome then.
The full experience.
Oh, hell yeah.
An experience, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I'm going to post that article again.
Destination big time.
And so what is happening next week? Nothing? We don't know yet?
To my knowledge, next week is the 30th, right? Yes.
That'll be our Halloween show. We should get somebody scary on.
We have Thomas Ray Harner III. He is a fellow who used to have I'm not sure if you classify it a ranch or a farm down in Honduras. Rick Simpson visited him for a while when he was writing his book, I believe. He has a healing story with cannabis oil.
Cool.
And he's now living in Washington, D.C., so he can fill us in on what's going on in the States. And he's big into healing your spirit with medicinal plants. We may even be able to touch on psychedelics with him. Yes.
The healing effects of mushrooms.
I've never done
mushrooms,
them before.
ayahuasca, all those things.
I've never done mushrooms before. I'm very skeptical because I know how
if I were you, I wouldn't do mushrooms.
Well, I've staved away from it. I have said
you
no.
should.
Oh, with your conditions, yes.
With ADHD, don't do mushrooms. No.
But Tomas is. I believe he's fairly versed in healing your spirit, your body, and your mind with medicinal plants in various combinations and aspects. And I'm looking forward to talking to him. And he'll have an American view of what's going on in Washington, D.C. now, too. So
that's cool, and hopefully our audio is working a little bit better that day. I'm going to say good night to everybody, I guess. And coming up, we're going to listen to our disclaimer that Lori did. And we've got some violent femmes waiting for the bus. And we will be here next week, Friday, with some kind of a scary boo for you. It's the 420 Radio Show. We are live at Lifestyle Radio, Fridays, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Jack, Tom, thank you very much for being on the show. I will try and get down if I can.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us.
And
hope to see you down.
Well, I hope I can because, with Lori coming in and, all that, I have to kind of try anyways.
None of us have ever met Jack in person.
No, he was supposed to.
Oh, boy.
You were supposed to come by in a boat or something.
Be very afraid.
When we were at the resort, he was supposed to come, wasn't he, Lori?
I was hoping he was going to be able to swing by. Strangely enough, we were an hour apart, and you were on the houseboat. Yeah. Same lake, same location, an hour apart. You were on the houseboat. We were having our round table. So we're going to be closer together this time.
Let me plug the website one more time, if I may.
You may.
Sure.
It's www.green-thinking.net.
Awesome. And
thank you very much, sir.
We have been posting it, and we will continue posting it. This is the 420 Radio Show. We'll see you next week. Night, guys.
Good night.
Peace out.
We'll see you next week. Night, guys.
Good night.
The opinions expressed during this show are those of the individual participants and do not necessarily reflect those of their associated organizations or Lifestyle Radio.
We got the mother and the kids, we got the guy in his state. We all get mad, we all get late. Looks like somebody forgot about us, standing on the corner waiting for a bus. Say, hey, Mr. Driver Man, don't be slow, 'cause I got somewhere I gotta go. Say, hey, Mr. Driver Man, drive that thing fast. My precious time keep slipping past. Let's call the mayor, let's complain. Looks like the city's done to us again. Tied up in traffic, what do you know? The damn city bus moves so slow. I said, hey, Mr. Driver, now, man, don't be slow, 'cause I got somewhere I gotta go. Say, hey, Mr. Driver, man, drive that thing fast. My precious time keep slipping past.
Young man, your transfer's expired. Would you please pay full fare?
I just got this transfer.
Hey, can you open up the back door? Either pay your 65 cents or you'll have to leave the bus.
You gotta be kidding me, I just got it.
Will you please open up the back door?
We got the mother and the kids, we got the guy in his state. We all getting mad, we all getting late. Looks like somebody forgot about us, standing on the corner waiting for a bus. Hey, Mr. Driver Man, don't be slow, 'cause
like music, you like weed. Well, we gonna be good friends indeed. This is not much I like more than smoking trees. They'll make you dance the do-si-do and teach you how the chiba grows. Smoke a bowl on the 420 radio show. On Lifestyle Radio.
So what are you doing? Nothing? Why not?
Trying to get on this Lifestyle Radio website.
Sounds like a cool website.
Yeah, it's alright. Oh, hey, I might have it.
You might have it.
You're listening to Lifestyle Radio.